Hi, my name is Dr. Scott Schell, and I am an independent scholar formerly associated with the University of California, Berkeley in the German department. I hold a bachelor's degree in German, a master's degree in linguistics, and a PhD in Germanic linguistics. Now, in this next video of the Helion series, I would like to go ahead and discuss a very iconic passage, namely the Lord's Prayer. Now, throughout the Helion, Christ is constantly referred to as a drochten, or basically like a chieftain, if you will, and his followers are referred to as yesidos, which is generally translated as like warrior companions. So there is a very strong relationship between Christ and his followers. You have the idea of the chieftain giving constant, good advice and counsel to his followers, and his followers in turn pledge their loyalty to him. So this word is actually very old. In Proto-Germanic, it would have been drochtingas, and essentially this means like the leader of a warband. This word is also used in Old Norse. You may be familiar with titles for Odin, such as Draugadrochten or Hangadrochten. It's that drochten in Old Norse, which is directly related to our use of the Old Saxon word drochten. And this drochten word was favored very much in the Helion for another word for Christ or for God. In fact, it occurs around 212 times throughout the entire text. So that's pretty significant. I mean, when you think about us only dealing with about 6,000 lines of alliterative verse. So Christ is a bit different here, obviously, where the Saxon chieftain would have actively sought out combat. Christ is more, passive about it. He is, not as interested in earthly treasures, right? His primary functions serve as like metaphors for the great things here on earth will also be rewarded to you up in the high heavens. So, in essence, Christ represents but a shell of a once very complex warrior culture. So the Old Saxon Lord's Prayer deviates drastically from the original Latin. There are all kinds of different translations for the Lord's Prayer in all the Germanic languages, in Old Norse, Old English, Gothic, of course. So what we'll go ahead and do here is actually discuss the original Latin. I'll give you an Old English translation, an Old High German translation, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the Old Saxon version. So, as I had mentioned, Christ is referred to as this chieftain. His followers are called the yesidos, and his yesidos ask Christ specifically, as their drochten, to Yerichti ustat yaruni, teach us the runes. So essentially they may have, this direct form of communication with the divine. It's this medium of communication that they want, right? That they'll be able to communicate with their new drochten, the Christian God. So when this radand, which is actually a word used for Christ in this context, it means the one who's always giving counsel, again like a chieftain. When he offers to teach the runes, he provides them with the Lord's Prayer. So let's go ahead and look at all these different versions. So here is the Latin, a translation, of course. Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. And do not bring us into temptation, but liberate us from evil. Let's look at the Old High German version. Our Father, who is there in heaven, may your name be hallowed. May your kingdom come. May your will be done, here in heaven as well as here on earth. Give us our daily bread today, and abandon our faults, as well as we abandon faults against us. And not lead us into temptation, but lead us from evil. It's pretty faithful to the Latin. Old English. Our Father, who is in heaven, may your name be hallowed. May your kingdom come, may your will be done, on earth as well as in heaven. Give us our daily bread, and forgive us of our faults, as we forgive faults against us. And do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So again, the Old English, the Old High German, and even the Old Norse version, all of these stick pretty close to the original Latin. Let's go ahead and look at the Old Saxon version. Father Ussa, Firio Borno, du bist dem hohen Himmelrikia. Jag vid sin din nama warlo jag williko, kuma din kraftig riki. Werda din viljo over dessa wereld alla, så samo an erda så där uppe ist. An dem hohen Himmelrikia, jevels dag jag willikes rad drochten vergoden, dina heliga helpa en die allat us heavenes word. Managoro, menskuljo, also wie overem mannen doen. Ne laat ons farledian leda wichti, so forth an ihrer willion, so wie wordiga sind. Ach, help us wieder, allen uvilun, darium. Father of us, the children of men, you are in the high heavenly kingdom. Blessed be your name in every word. May your mighty kingdom come. May your will be done all over this world. The same on earth as it is up there in the high heavenly kingdom. Give us counsel or help each day, Lord. Your holy help and pardon us, warder of heaven. Our many crimes, just as we do to other men. Do not let evil wights lead us off to do their will as we deserve, but help us against all evil deeds. So you can see there are quite a few different alterations to this, right? I wanted to go ahead and talk about some of these real quick, maybe just give a few comments on, or just observations on these phrases, and let me know what you all think in the comments below. So we have one addition here, the sons of men. This again is not in the original Latin, and it's not in any of the other translations that we've looked at. So it seems here that Christ is has possibly assumed the role of a divine descendant. Sons of men isn't in the original Latin. The phrase, in every word, because words are performative, his name must be hallowed in every instance. Not only was the word important to the Saxons in general, but of course the word was also important to Woden. Mighty or crafty kingdom. This is another addition to show the divine strength of the kingdom in the sky. The role of a good chieftain is also to maintain a mighty kingdom. Christ establishes this metaphorical connection. May your will be done all over this world. Well, this world, in other words, Middelgard, or middle realm. It must be stressed because of the earlier belief in interconnected realms. This is where action must be carried out, and this is Christ's attempt at again making a metaphor for joyous earthly activities that are done here on earth to be done up above. Give us our daily help or counsel. This is a remarkable alteration. To my knowledge, in all other translations of the Lord's Prayer, it is simply bread, food for the day, or nourishment. The alteration emphasizes here the relationship between chieftain and retainer. Good Lord. This is another addition where the poet reinforces that they are communicating with a mighty Drochte. Your holy help. This is another invention by the poet. By having access to runes that aid in divine intercommunication, the Saxon may now seek aid from their new chieftain. Warder of heaven. Again, the role of a mighty chieftain is to protect his kingdom. Do not let evil wights lead us off. So here we see the Germanic wights, or in German we would say Wischt, or the plural Wischte, are actually being used in this context as demons, essentially, that will lead them away from God. So it should be noted, that this is the only version of the Lord's Prayer that has so many of these different alterations. The idea of good rede, good counsel, help, protection, having a mighty kingdom, right? This is, a representation of a good, healthy warrior culture. So that is essentially what's going on here. We have Christ acting as this mighty Drochten, and he has his followers, which are referred to as the Yasidos. So that's all I really had today. I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Lord's Prayer because it is a very interesting and unique passage within the Helion itself. So go ahead and please like the video, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I will be uploading more material here very soon. I am planning on trying to do this, every week, so we'll see. All right, wishing you all a pleasant day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Ortoris os reda condeva unia agel not isen ipen elonsho tir berga